Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? We have 3 hours before climate crisis begins. This is a webinar of biblical proportion. The information is incredible. Mike from around the world drops the bomb on us with some huge information and intel that has to be revealed. We cannot no longer wait. The climate crisis is accelerating as we're in the birthing pains of the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me put a shout out right now for noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Your 401k, your retirement plan, it has to be looked at. It has to be looked at. You cannot wait to see what's going to work out. As you can see, that the deep state is involved heavily in price manipulation. And they're using different things. You know, like Rahm Emanuel said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, they create crisis in some cases, and they certainly jump on the bandwagon when there is some. And with the war in Ukraine and with the weather changes, the climate crisis happening, folks, pick up the phone right now. Call Colin Plume at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. It's incredible, but it's getting very, very dangerous out there. Matter of fact, you can go to my website and get a ticket for climate crisis. But noblegoldinvestment.com, you want to be sure to let Colin Plume take care of your financial needs. It's getting crazier right now. The Russian troops are gathering around Kiev. They're trying to push their way in. They're also starting to surround Odisha. Odisha is the largest Jewish community in all of Ukraine. It is getting serious. Now, I did a Patreon earlier today in which I gave you a sneak preview of this climate crisis webinar. I give you about 10 minutes of Marshall Masters, give you a little sneak preview of what he talks about. It's incredible. And Mike from the World, it's his best presentation on this subject ever. And Steve Quayle, maybe his best presentation ever on any subject. And an update, right to the minute situation where we're at with Gil Broussard on the projection and the trajectory of Planet X. Folks, seriously, climate crisis. Go to www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Get your tickets now. You only have 3 hours left. 3 hours left. Let me tell you what they're saying out there. NASA is studying how to dodge giant space rocks. Again, NASA is studying how to dodge giant space rocks. Many disasters like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes are unavoidable, really. Scientists talk about when, not whether, these will strike. Though humans make some calamities worse, like, we've talked about HARP and weather modification, whether it be seeding clouds or whether it be nuclear detonations underground. But natural disasters have been happening since long before mankind was here, and they're in fact a life on Earth itself. But one kind of disaster needs not to be inevitable. That's the collision between an asteroid or a comet and the Earth. It's the one natural disaster, essentially, that you can cancel out. Well, I like to see how you're going to do it when Apophis comes in. But that's according to a science journalist, Robin George Andrews. And he was telling that on a podcast. Quote, he said, you can't stop volcanoes erupting or an earthquake happening or hurricanes, Andrews says. But an asteroid, if you just flick it out of the way of the Earth, the threat is gone. Now, this may sound like a science fiction, but scientists are already working on this. It's arguably going to a lot better than depicted in the film Don't Look Up or the film Deep Impact, in which two astronomers struggle to convince the world that the deadly comet is coming. The United States government is spending time and money to avert a future asteroid disaster. We're laying the groundwork where there would allow us not to allow a threat to be addressed in the future and save lives, says Kelly Fast, a NASA scientist who works in the Near Earth Object Observation Program and is part of the space agency, the Planetary Defense Coordination Office. Her job, she says, is finding asteroids before they find us. What? Are you serious? Climate crisis, apocalyptic asteroids, inbound, deep impact. Fast and her colleagues still have a lot of work to do, folks. It looks Bruce Willis is not going to save the day in Armageddon, and Morgan Freeman can't give us more than 3 days heads up if we're going to have a deep impact. Both of these situations, these colleagues are finding a catalog in asteroids and comets that could pose a threat to Earth, and also devise a very concrete plan of action if one were on a collision course. But the work is well underway, making comets and asteroids a rare example of a risk that's getting attention before it's too late. This is very, very crazy. After disasters strike, people often wonder why humans didn't do more to prepare for it or even prevent it. We asked that about the pandemic, about the climate crisis we're in, about humanity often seems more reactive than proactive. In that light, our preparations for asteroids and comets are a feel-good story, but it's a story of how, when scientists describe a threat, the government actually decides to do something about it. How to prevent an asteroid disaster. Get this. Number one, you find the asteroid. What? 1993. Are you serious? Scientists spotted pieces of a huge comet headed straight for Jupiter. Before the comet broke apart, it was around a mile wide. A mile wide. If this object had hit the Earth, it would have caused a mass extinction of the planet. For astronomers, it was something of a fireworks show, and they knew the pieces would strike in July of 1994, so they watched via telescope. Oh boy, this is amazing, says Fast, a planetary scientist. You couldn't fit a few Earths or more across some of the larger impact regions. In the bottom left of this infrared video of Jupiter, people can see a part of the impact exploding out the planet's atmosphere. And I'm looking at it now, and it does, to me, it's just another solar flare or maybe a plasma burst. But the scientists were both enthralled and concerned. It became a wake-up call. This does happen. It can happen in this solar system. It will happen. Lawmakers noticed also in 1998, Congress had NASA to find at least 90% of the asteroids and comets 1 kilometer wide or larger that could come close to the neighborhood of Earth. Whereas asteroids are pieces of rock and metal in orbit around the sun, comets contain ice and tend to come from the furthest out in the solar system. When it comes to the potential for destruction, they're pretty much the same. Large objects like these strike Earth once ever so often. So we have to prepare for the next big one. It will also set off massive volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis, change in the winter patterns, the rain patterns, all these things. Folks, listen to me. Go right now. If get your ticket, go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. Go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. We've got just less than 3 hours, and this webinar is going to begin at 6 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern. You're going to get a link. You're going to get an email with a link on it. Get ready for it. And matter of fact, do this. If you want to, you can call right now and order your ticket. If you just want to get it, make sure you're there and get your ticket ordered. Do this. Call this number, 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230. Or I got a second phone line. call this number on the screen, or not on the screen, but call this number, 765-320-0346. Let me say that again, 765-320-0346. Or you can call a third line, and that phone number is 765-412-3767. That's 765-412-3767. Now, any three of those phone lines you could call and order your tickets tonight, or if you have any questions. We're 3 hours away. Guys, seriously, get ready. It is time. It is time. It is time. If the line is busy, call the next line. If that line's busy, call the next one. If that one's busy, go back to the first one. But you will get through. They're working as hard as they can, and they are not only taking the orders in, getting people's tickets ready, but getting prepared to send your email out to you with your link. This is a critical climate crisis webinar, maybe the best ever. I mean, I thought affects of Planet X. I don't see how, but what we did is we took with that and gave you new info plus some, okay, plus a lot more in climate crisis. It is a sign of the end of days. It is the birthing pains of the coming of Jesus Christ. So I'm telling you, Christ is coming. Again, pick up the phone and call right now. The main phone line is 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230. Or call this number, 765-320-0346. Again, that's 765-320-0346. Or call this number if those lines are busy, 765-412-3767. Let me say that again, 765-412-3767. Or go to our website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Get your tickets today. Another incredible information. We're talking volcanoes, asteroids, meteorites, climate chaos, confusion, weather warfare, weather modification, the effects of Planet X, tsunamis, sinkholes, extreme straight line winds, blizzards and bomb genesis, cyclones and typhoons and hurricanes and hypercanes and tornadic activity, volcanism off the wazoo, folks. It's this serious. We're running out of time. I tell you what, we're going to get a song, and everybody go right now to the website and get your ticket right at this moment. Don't wait around. Just go right now, get your ticket. Don't wait. We are living in the last days. We are living in the end times. We are living in the days that the Bible said would come. And the Bible tells us to watch and pray. For an hour you think not, the Son of Man cometh. You got to acknowledge that you need Christ and you need to believe. Let's go right now and get our tickets in Jesus Christ. You need to go get your tickets on climate crisis. I'll be right back in just a moment.
Old man Wrigley lived in that White House down the street where I grew up. Mama used to send me over with things. We struck a friendship up. I spent a lot of long summers out on his old porch swing. Says he was in the war and in the Navy. Lost his wife, lost his baby. Broke down and asked him one time, how'd you keep from going crazy? He said, I'll see my wife and son in just a little while. I asked him what he meant. He looked at me and he smiled, said, I raised my hand. the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see.
How you doing, Tennessee?
Oh, I believe. A few years later, I was off to college, talking to my mom on the phone one night, getting all caught up on all the gossip, the ins and outs of small town life. She said, oh, by the way, son, old man Begley died. Later on that night, I laid there thinking back, thought about a couple long lost summers. I didn't know whether to cry or laugh, if there was ever anybody who deserved a ticket to the other side. It would be that sweet old man who looked me in the eyes and raised my hands, I bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth in the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. I can't quote the book, the chapter, or the verse, but you can't tell me it all ends in a slow ride in a hearse.
No way can you tell me that.
You know I'm more and more convinced the longer that I live. Yes, it can't be. No, it can't be. No, it can't be all there is. I raise my hands, I bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth.
Jesus is
the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. Oh, I believe.
Oh, thank you, Lord.
I believe. I believe.
I know we got believers out there this afternoon.
I believe.
And the Lord Jesus Christ is coming back soon. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I believe.
Climate crisis starts 2 hours and 44 minutes.
Oh, I
This is the incredible webinar, The Effects of Planet X.
I believe.
Is Apophis going to be, what's going to happen with that?
I believe.
Is the earth going to crack apart? Is Mike from around the world right?
I believe.
What does this all mean? What is this secret location in Tibet? Something dark, something demonic, something deep. Is it going to be released? Is the bowels of the earth going to release? And is the climate, is this the birthing pains of the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ? Well, no doubt it is. And the Bible said that the earth is going to reel and rock like a drunkard in Isaiah 24. It tells us in the book of Matthew 24 of all these different apocalyptic events that's going to happen. It tells us the same thing in Luke 21:25. There shall be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, distress of nations. With perplexity, the sea, the waves will be roaring, and men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So, but here's the good news. Then we're going to see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. When these things begin to come to pass, look up, lift up your head. Your redemption draws nigh. Yes, climate crisis starts in just less than 3 hours, in about 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's very important that you get your ticket tonight. You can go right now and get it at paulbegleyprophecy.com, or pick up the phone if you want to call. You can buy your ticket over the phone by simply doing this. Call this number, 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230, or call this number, 765-320-0346. That's 765-320-0346. Or pick up the phone and call this number, 765-412-3767. Again, that's 765-412-3767. And we'll help you get your tickets and be ready so that your email will be coming to you on the same email you use to purchase your ticket. You'll get an email right back at you with your link at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight for Climate Crisis. Plus, our phone lines are going to be open all evening to help anybody that may still be buying a ticket after the fact. You can buy all evening long. You can buy all day tomorrow. We want you to have you ready. I'm going to let you go. I'll be back in a little while. Keep you up to speed on other things that are happening around the globe. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. Seriously, we're running out of time. We really are.